Hey everyone, I'm Sarah and I'm starting a vlog. Very exciting because me and my husband Sean are going to be moving into a tiny house very soon. I think we're probably going to be moving in about 3 weeks and we're super excited. We realize that there is a lot of missing information out there in regards to moving into a tiny house and kind of all the prep work that goes into it. Thought I'd start a channel just to kind of go over that. I'm also going to do some vegan stuff, some recipes, and also some like arts and craft type stuff. Also going to do some like minimalism stuff and sustainability, so stay tuned for more of that. Today I actually want to talk about why I quit my $80,000 job and why I'm moving into a tiny house. Society kind of makes you believe that you need to have a career and you need to make a lot of money and you have to have this big house and all that stuff. My parents kind of taught me, so it's like their beliefs that, you know, the whole career thing and a job, you need to make more money, and it's just always this cycle that things are never enough. Like what you have is never enough. And I've just been going through a lot of changes in my life and I just haven't been happy for the longest time, especially my last job. Every single job that I had, after about 8 months, I was always unhappy. It was always either I didn't like the job itself, or I didn't like the company, or I didn't like the management. I finally found a company that I really liked, and I thought that I really liked the job that I had. But again, the same thing happened after about like a year. I was unhappy. I was like miserable. I wanted to do something that was meaningful to me and that brought me benefit, you know, because you work like 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week for someone else, to help someone else achieve their goals. If I was going to be working, I wanted to be doing it for myself and receive the benefits of you know, all the hard work that I'm doing. You know, they would pay me obviously for my hard work, but I don't care about money, so you know, I just want to be happy. Especially living in the US, like it's just so consumer based, and that you need to make more money so you can buy all these things. And you know, I had a lot of stuff. I had a nice place in San Francisco. I had an electric car. I had, you know, the newest phone. I had a laptop, you know, an iPad, whatever. You know, I had all these things, but I still wasn't happy. I realized that it was because I was in this rat race, you know, working a corporate job, a 9-to-5, sitting at a desk all day. You know, we're just not made to do that. And I started developing tendinitis from all the typing and all the mouse work, from sitting at a computer all day. And at one point I actually was on disability because of it. And I'm actually kind of glad that happened, because that was about 5 years ago. That's actually when I first discovered tiny houses. And so it was kind of an answer to the housing market. I've always wanted to have my own house, and it was just way too expensive to buy one. There's also the idea that we need to have, you know, a bigger house, and like we need to have like a huge house and like so many square feet and like so many bedrooms, but it's all unnecessary. The more space you have, the more things you end up buying to fill the empty space. So I really like the idea of a tiny house, because I'm also really into sustainability and minimalism, and I thought that that was the answer. Not only that, but tiny houses are so much cheaper than an actual house, and they're kind of cool. You know, they're on wheels and you can take them anywhere. Like, it's not permanently fixed to the ground, so you know, if you want to move somewhere else, you can just hook up your tiny house to a truck and then move it somewhere else. You know, it's that easy. I also really like, you know, sustainability and not relying on the government. I have like this weird obsession for like, I think that an apocalypse is gonna happen or could happen, so I want to be as prepared as possible. I love zombies. I love zombie movies. I love, you know, zombie TV shows. So I just wanted to be prepared just in case, you know, a zombie apocalypse ever happens. I like the idea of being off-grid. I think that there's like so many like corporations and the government has everyone tied to them. Like we have to rely on them to be able to get water, to be able to get electricity, and I didn't like that idea. Like if the grid went down, like we would be screwed basically. So I wanted to just cut ties from that. So the tiny house was the answer. I wanted to quit my job so that I can start doing something that I'm actually passionate about. I have a very creative background. I love arts and crafts, and I love making things, and I also have a graphic design background, so I just want to do that. You know, I want to do something where I don't have to go 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. That's just too much. Like, no one wants to work that much. And if you do, then that's great. Then you can have those jobs and do that. But it's just not for me. I want to be able to do whatever I want, whenever I want. I want the freedom to be able to go anywhere. And I felt like a slave almost at my job. You're agreeing basically to do whatever they want, you know? So you have to be there when they want you to, and you have to ask for permission to take days off, and it's just ridiculous. I just didn't like that. I want the freedom to choose what I do today. Maybe I want to do chores today, or maybe I want to work on a video, or maybe I want to do some like a craft project, or, you know, we tend to lose sight of what is really meaningful to us when we are working for someone else, and we kind of are selling our souls for money, giving up happiness to do something for someone else. It's too much. Plus, like, having to deal with a lot of other stressed people, and having like just dealing with the stress of the job itself, you know, if it's stressful, feel guilty if you make a mistake, and I didn't like any of that. Plus, just being indoors all day, like sitting at a desk, it's just, no. I was over it, and I was just so depressed and so stressed out that it just got to a point where I just couldn't do it anymore. Tiny house was the answer. It allowed us to be mortgage free. The only thing that we'd have to worry about is paying rent for land to park our tiny house, which is like, you know, a portion of what we were paying for rent for an apartment. Just cutting our overhead super low. We started tracking all our finances and doing a budget. You really don't realize how much you spend on stuff until you really start tracking everything. So we like save all our receipts, and I created this pretty fancy spreadsheet to kind of keep track of everything. Yeah, we were spending way too much. Like, I didn't know that we were spending that much, and especially if we're gonna be living in a tiny house, we can't afford to be spending like. We've started a new system where we're budgeting and pulling the cash for the week and kind of doing it that way, and so far it's been working, and we're so excited. So yeah, I think we have that part all figured out. We are going to be parking our tiny house on 42 acres in Vancouver Island, and it's just going to be all nature. We're going to be surrounded by nature, and we can't wait. You know, that's something that we've always wanted. It's something that we've always dreamed of, you know. We didn't realize how crazy and like how dense cities are until we lived in Toronto for about a year. We were living in a high-rise, and like Toronto was like a huge city. There's so many people, and it was a little too much, you know. There's like, we were on the 16th floor of a high-rise, and so we had to take our dog Bella to go to the bathroom like multiple times a day, and out there it gets super cold, so we were all depressed during that time. You know, I just wanted the land for Bella to be able to explore and for her to just be in nature. Why should only dogs be close to nature? You know, we are also animals, so we should also be in nature, but we've just been staying indoors, and it's just something that we aren't meant to do. Every time I'm outside, I feel so much better. Like, it just feels good. So we're super excited to be moving into our tiny house, and I kind of wanted to start this vlog to go through everything that we're doing to prepare for it, because there's not that much stuff out there right now. Most of the things that we're seeing is like tiny house, like tours, and how to build a tiny house, things like that. There isn't as much information out there as I thought there was. So especially now that we're getting ready to move into the tiny house, I'm like looking for information and I can't really find it. This is an opportunity to be able to share what we're doing and to help others that are also in a similar situation. Yeah, stay tuned for more. I'm gonna be posting updates and talking about different things of the process of what we're doing. So hope to see you soon.